Hello everyone, and welcome back to my fourth video in my Small Business Server 2003 course. In this video we're going to be looking at users groups and templates. Now, to start with, you might notice if you've been following along with the rest of my videos, we're not actually at the server this time, we're on a desktop PC. So this is the desktop of David Gibson. He's the virtual owner of this fake business that we're building this network for, and this PC is currently standalone. It's what he's been using for the last year, and we're now going to be using this to access the server console. So to start with, we can see here that David has prepared a simple spreadsheet for us with the names of all of his staff and what he'd like their usernames, email addresses, and passwords to be. So this is what we're going to be working from today. So to start with, let's make sure we got that drilled down so that we can see other things on our screen. Start, run, mstsc, which will bring up our remote desktop connection. We're going to type in here the name of the server, which is SBSO3. Clear out the username, and to make our lives a bit easier for filming, we're going to lower the resolution so that we can see the two windows next to each other. I'm going to hit connect, and you can see here the remote desktop window is opened and we are presented with the server login. Unlike other versions of Windows Server 2003, Small Business Server has remote desktop connection enabled by default. Okay, so as you can see now, we're logged in and we are presented with the server console. So first thing we're going to do today is we're going to go in and we're going to create our groups. So to start with, we're going to go into distribution groups, and you can see here we have the design core group, which is created by default for us. So we're going to go ahead and create a second distribution group, and we're going to call this one designers. And we're going to give the description group containing all designers. Email alias is good for us, so we're going to hit next. Group name conflicts with a username on the network. This is new. Let's try changing this. Let's try changing that to that. There we go. So we're not going to add any group membership for now. We're going to hit next. We're not going to define a manager for now. Create a public folder for archiving emails. Yes, we're going to do this. Enable group to receive emails from outside your network. Yep, we want that too. So we're going to hit next, and we get the summary of what the wizard's going to do. We're going to hit finish, and you can see here we've now got our first group. We're going to add another group, and this time we are going to call this one accounts. Group containing all staff that deal with accounts. I'm going to hit next. We're not going to specify any members at the moment. Not going to specify a manager. We want both of these options as before, and we're going to hit finish, and that's going to go through. Now we're going to add. Now we've got our two distribution groups for email purposes. We're going to add a security group. And this one we're going to call management staff. In the description, staff that manage the business. We're not going to define any group members for now, and we're going to hit finish. So now we've got our security group created as well. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into templates. Now, in the last video, or one of the last videos, we created our first user template. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make some changes to this now. So when we double click it, we get the properties window open. We can go into members of, and we can now define our groups that we want this user to be a member of. So we're going to add graphical designers into this group, or into this template I should say, so that now that user is always going to be a member of that email distribution group. I'm going to click OK, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a new template, and this one is going to be called management staff. We're going to hit next. We are going to specify the security group management staff for this template, and we are going to specify both accounts and the main design core group for email groups. For SharePoint wise, we're going to add the web designer role because we want these users to be able to design the web page for the intranet page. I'm going to hit next. We're not going to specify address information. Now for this, we're going to specify a slightly higher disk limit, so we're going to put 2 gigs in here, and we're going to issue the warning at 2000 megabytes. Going to hit next, and we get our summary of what the wizard's going to create for us. We are going to click finish. Okay, so now we've created our groups, we've created our template. We can now go ahead and look at the users. Okay, so now to add users, we can go to the add users button here, and we're going to add our first user account, which is David Gibson. We're going to put in his password from the Excel spreadsheet. Hey, we got Clippy. We're going to allow him to change his password. We're going to hit next. We're going to select the management staff template. We're going to put in his computer name as DCPC01. We're going to hit next. Here are the applications that we want to assign to his computer. We're going to hit next. We're going to install the connection manager button here, and we are going to click next. We don't want active sync for work connection. Yep, this is fine for us. And we're going to hit finish, and we can see our first user account has now been defined. We get this box here to tell us how to connect our computer. We're going to do this in the next video, so we're going to hit OK on that, and we're going to hit close. So the next button we're going to push is we're going to add multiple users, because what we're going to do now is we're going to bulk add our graphical designers. So I'm going to hit next. We're going to select our designers template. Going to hit add to add a new user, and we're going to use a little bit of copy and paste magic here to get these in nice and quickly for us. So that's the first one in, and the second designer. Okay, we're going to hit next. For this example, we're not going to set computers up now. We're going to do this next time. And we're going to hit finish, and the wizard's going to go ahead and bulk create those 2 users for us. We're going to create our next couple of users. So let's do Elaine. So we're going to go add user. We're going to pop in her details. Now, for this user, we're going to make sure she can't change her password because we've been asked to by the business owner, David Gibson. So we're going to hit next. She's a member of management staff. We're going to hit next. We are not going to set up a computer at the moment. We're going to hit next and finish. And this user is now going to go ahead and be created. So the next thing we want to make sure we do is we want to make sure that Elaine is definitely a member of the accounts group. So we're going to double click on her and go to the members of, and you can see here she's a member of the accounts distribution group. So that came through from the template that we created earlier. So the last user we need to add is Fred. Now we haven't got a template for Fred, so we're going to use the standard template that comes inbuilt with SBS. And we are going to select user template, hit next. Not going to set up a PC, and we're going to hit finish. And there we have it. The users have been successfully created. So in the last video we made sure that we had documents redirection enabled, so that is going to make sure all their documents are redirected and stored on the server rather than on the desktops, meaning they can log into anyone's PC and get their documents. So that kind of wraps up what we had for this video today. Thank you very much for watching, and in the next video we are going to be setting up desktop PCs. Thank you very much, guys.